My name is Tino Manhema. I'm working as a software engineer at Terraflow. Way back in 2019, I think the way Terraflow was formed was sort of a branch from another company. So they were sort of splitting different divisions. And then I was recruited by Plinavin, my then manager, to join the new digital or the new organized stack of the digital division. The first project I was on with Terraflow was Oracle. And we were sort of doing an ML project, so machine learning in terms of routing calls for customer service in order to improve the amount of time it takes for you to match to a call center agent that can be able to assist you with whatever issue you're facing with your telecom provider. It wasn't something new because in the past I had done some machine learning projects in the previous company. And I also sort of studied machine learning courses in university. So it wasn't really something new, but I think it was just exciting implementing it on a practical level and seeing the impact and the results that sort of machine learning can have on the business and their customers. So I think my journey at Terraflow, it transitions from Oracle. And then I think the next cool project we went on was on the delivery platform, which is sort of powering most of South Africa's delivery systems, including like Checker 6060, your Nando's, etc. I think that was a cool project because it also gave me an opportunity to demonstrate some of my academic knowledge, where like we're implementing mathematical algorithms to sort of optimize route allocation, order allocation, minimize costs for business in terms of e-commerce. And I think we made so much of a huge impact, especially during COVID or the lockdowns, because I think movement was restricted and delivery sort of became a lifesaver for people, whether they were looking for groceries, whether they were looking for medication. And I think that was a cool project for me because one of the challenges we had was to get to the 60 minutes delivery challenge. It sounds cool and it sounds sort of, very efficient to the customer, but I think to us it was more of like a challenge. How do we sort of meet that and how do we implement algorithms? How do we be able to scale as the platform scales? Because I think there was a time where we literally doubled the volumes of orders in a single night. And it was a scramble to now source more drivers or to sort of better improve the algorithm to meet that demand. So that was a cool project. I also grown because I can now sort of synthesize or understand the academic work, or the bridge between the academic work and the bridge between like real world programs, and sort of apply that knowledge and empower customers, empower businesses, empower myself as well. Because I'm also learning that journey. I think that was a cool project for me and for Terraflow, and we had really good wins there. I think the transition from there was mostly into the airline space. So I think we were doing the airline systems for Comair, Kulula, and British Airways. So I think that was more a next level, a next upgrade to dealing with enterprise clients and sort of delivering software projects on an enterprise level. And then I think the impact that sort of project has, like working at scale, because I think we look at airlines, they were flying around 10,000 people a day. How do you manage the bookings of those processes? How do you manage the data that is required by people who sort of plan and balance planes? Because I think that was like one of the major issues is always there. We need to sort of reserve some seats in such a way that the plane will be balanced, etc. And then the team is responsible for that. Sometimes they don't tell us that they block certain seats, which would have an impact on our booking processes, etc. But I think it was a cool project for me because like one, I got to work at scale. Two, I sort of got to implement best practices knowledge as acquired from previous clients and from previous implementation of software in different systems. And three, I think it was a fast-moving environment because I think when we sort of launched the first major review of the new app, the uptake was so huge in terms of like the numbers, the revenue. Because I think we made a couple of millions within the first week, and I think that was something exciting for me to sort of see, okay, cool, the work I've done, the value is bringing, and the return on investment is bringing for the business as well. So, yeah, no, I think that was the next chapter. And then after the Kumila chapter, I'm now sort of being involved in one ritual where we're sort of trying to process or root claim processes for their insurance clients or their world insurance clients. And then I think that was more of like an investigation. It was more of just trying to see where we can minimize their costs, because I think their cloud costs are sort of spiraling out of control. And then we just put in that as a consulting house to sort of see one way inefficiencies, where can we improve and where can we save costs in the short term, and what can be done to sort of save costs and stabilize costs also like in the medium to the long term. And then I think that was sort of a short stint for me, but I do think it was still great. It was a still great experience. And then I think after that, the next chapter was mostly into the banking world. So that's where I'm currently at. Now we're doing a lot of interesting stuff in terms of models for credit granting and models for pricing for retail bank product and for business bank products. So it includes like the loans, taking accountability to sort of the Reserve Bank, etc. So that space right now, like the financial sector. Outside of the scope, I've mainly been involved in sort of upskilling in terms of Google Cloud. So I have done the architectural sort of certification first. I think back then, when you were still doing the delivery platform things, so just get us upskilled on how do we do scale, how do we do architectural constraints, and how do we deploy efficiently the cloud to sort of, then some of the tricks that you might not necessarily know by just working with the product that will enable us as a business to have more confidence in what we deliver for our client. And then I think I also did the same certification when it was sort of updated again. I was currently trying to work towards the data engineering certification to just get more skills of informed about the data move and how to sort of work with data in the cloud. I would think so, because I think looking way back, like the projects we have done, the impact we have made on our customers, on the business that we are providing, it was a great learning experience for me, and it was at the same time improving my value, improving your credibility for you have proof or you have historical data points to sort of make like, this is where you come from, this is what you've achieved, this is the impact you've made into the economy, whether it's local, on a national level or at a global level. I think also internal initiatives around like, mentoring, coaching, writing, and also being allowed time to sort of upskill through certifications or sometimes to be attending conferences. I think with all those sort of bedding together, they did make the progress of improving my value or doubling my value. I think the main differentiator for TerraFlow is we are goal-oriented and we are delivery-oriented. So we do the work and then we let the work sort of speak for it. I think that's like the main differentiator. I think most of our business comes out from the work we've done. So like if we've done the project and delivered successfully, it usually opens doors for us because we sort of have proved ourselves, and at the same time, I think we are kind of not like we are here to deliver and we deliver. So I think that's the main differentiator we have. I think I found the culture empowers you to take responsibility and empowers you to find what you're good at instead of just being assigned something. So I think working with the people aspect of things, we do have great colleagues, they're open-minded, they're willing to share, they're willing to learn. So I think being in an environment where it's like learning is sort of encouraged and making mistakes as well is encouraged, because I think we learn through mistakes. So I think that gives you the confidence to say, okay, I can make mistakes and I can learn from my mistakes to sort of get better. And then I think over time, you get better. If you get better 1% every day, the compound effect at the end of the year is huge. And I think that's been true. TerraFlow, like with the way management sort of runs the business, with the way we treat our colleagues, and with the way we also handle our projects for our customers. And I think also one of the key differentiator is in TerraFlow, employees come first. We are an employee-first company. And if your employees are empowered, it means you also want to be empowered to deliver quality work for your client. I would say, going back to the Vodacom days, I think the interesting story, at the time, Vodacom was sort of undecided on what route to take in terms of like their data estate, in terms of the cloud. Like, were they going to go AWS or were they going to go for Google? And I think we came in with a Google partnership to try help them and make that decision. And I think that's where one of that project of ML for routing calls to their agents came about. I think the interesting part, we were competing with a different house that was also trying to prove value for AWS. And I think the interesting thing for me, like we we proved value so strong that that the competitor we're dealing with had to bring in AWS themselves. So they flew like people from AWS to come and prove value for them. And I think it also showed that, okay, we are capable in South Africa, one, and we are capable as a company, as Terraflow, was like we're now dealing with that, a well-respected organization, which were actually on the cloud listed, etc. I think the also interesting thing, like we also ended up sort of providing some tools and some data for the AWS to try and get them as close of a match to the results we're getting from the Google POC to prove like, okay, Google might be better fit to go with the data you send. But I think for us as a company, that's brought validation. It also brought a lot of confidence that we are capable and we can deliver. And I think that's also why we remain as a delivery company first instead of a sales company first. Because I think we do the work and then the work will speak for itself and then it opens opportunities for us. I'm going to be building a better cloud for everyone. So I'll be involved in doing with AWS, and then I'll be involved in building cloud products for them.